Hello guys! Welcome back sa ating second week ng Web Design and Programming lesson. For this week, we will be talking about the HTML tags. So, just a quick recap from the previous lesson that we had last week. We were able to understand how the web works. As you can remember, we were able to also understand the major software components, the history, and the functions of the internet. Together with that, we were able to understand the use and role of an internet service provider and the hardware components associated with it when having connections at home. We were able also to understand how the cloud works, what are those web applications that you can use in your devices without having to install a particular software, and of course, how to navigate with a web browser, such as downloading files, image, making bookmarks to check the history as well of the websites that you were able to visit from the past few days or hours. Now, moving forward to the second week, we are going to talk about different HTML tags. Now, as you can see on the screen, these are still the same information that I have with me. Of course, please do not forget these details as you may need it in the future. Now, for the lesson objectives for this week, we should be able to understand and explain the fundamentals of HTML, and of course to understand and explain the basic structure of HTML, including the elements and attributes and formatting of text using HTML tags. Now, as introductory to HTML, it's actually the standard markup language for web pages. So with HTML, you can create your own website. I know that some of you may have already a background in performing or doing rather HTML kasi in ICT programs during senior high, meron na nito. Now, I'd like you to take that opportunity as your edge to the others, to other students na hindi pa maalam. However, on web design and programming, we'd like to introduce you with HTML first because HTML is the skeleton of all web pages. Now, it's often the first language learned by developers, marketers, and designers, and is core to front-end development work. Now, if this is your first time touching code, we're excited for what you're about to create at the end of the semester. Kasi this is gonna be the first HTML or hypertext markup language that you're going to do before you can actually go ahead and create dynamic and a more advanced website. So what exactly is HTML? Well, it provides structure of the content appearing on a website. As I have mentioned, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Now, HTML provides structure to the content appearing on a website. For example, yung mga images, yung mga text na nakikita natin, videos, and so on. Right-click on any page on the internet, choose Inspect, and you'll see HTML in a panel of your screen. So later on, pakita natin yun. Let's just finish the slide. HTML markup language is a standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed on a web browser. A markup language is a computer language that defines the structure and presentation of raw text. Also, in HTML, the computer can interpret raw text that is wrapped in HTML elements. That is why doing hypertext markup language is not as hardcore comparing to programming languages. Kasi dito, whatever your web browser can interpret, gagawin niya kung ano yung nakalagay dun sa code mo. Unlike in programming language, makukulangan ka lang ng parang isang character, hindi na i-interpret ang compiler mo dahil merong kulang na code doon sa nilagay mo. So here, it's not like that. Now, again, learning HTML is the first step in creating websites. But even a bit of knowledge can help you inject code snippets into newsletter or blog o kaya mga website templates. Now, as you continue learning, you can layer HTML with CSS o yung cascading style sheets. Don't worry, no, kasama naman yun sa ating OBTLP for this semester, as well as with the JavaScript to create visually compelling and of course dynamic websites. But for now, we're going to focus on how to add and modify basic content on a page like text, images, and videos. So don't worry if the websites look ugly. Nagsisimula pa lang naman tayo, no? Kumbaga plain and simple pa lang, medyo sa tingin nyo hindi maganda, that's fine kasi we're just getting started. Okay, once again, I would like to show you a video presentation from Pireship YouTube channel to learn more on the history of HTML. So this video will be able to cover what is HTML, the HTML history, or brief, just the most important part of it, how to build your first website, HTML introduction for beginners, how does HTML work, and a little bit about document object model. So this is the video. Please watch and make sure to take note of the most important things that you'll watch on this one. Thank you.
Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, is a language that defines the structure of content on a web page. Development started in 1989 at CERN by Tim Berners-Lee, who had just invented the world's first web browser, World Wide Web, the origin of WWW. But he needed a publishing language to display content within it, so he chose a syntax based on the standard generalized markup language, which uses opening and closing tags to provide meaning to otherwise unorganized text, like H for heading, P for paragraph, and most importantly, A for anchor to link to a different web page. The language underwent many changes during the initial rise of the internet and was standardized as HTML5 in 2008, the version we know and love today. Modern HTML contains tags to handle a variety of different media types, like video, audio, and canvas to draw custom graphics on the fly. The typical HTML element starts with an opening and closing tag. In the middle, we have content, which might be text or additional HTML elements called children. The opening tag may also have one or more attributes, which are key value pairs that can customize the appearance or behavior of the element. To build your first web page, create a file named index.html. This file contains a hierarchy of nodes based on the document object model, or DOM. A web page starts with an HTML tag and has exactly two children, a head and a body. The head contains things that aren't directly shown in the web page, like a title or a meta tag to give the page a description. But notice how the meta element has no closing tag. Closing tags are generally optional when an element is fully self-contained. The body contains the actual UI for the end user. We might start with an H1 heading followed by a paragraph of content. To add an image, we use an image tag, which you'll notice is self-closing. Then define the source attribute as the file path to the image, and you'll want to give it an alt description to make it accessible to robots and screen readers. What makes web pages revolutionary, though, is their ability to link to other web pages on the information superhighway. Use an anchor tag to create a link, then define the href attribute as the web page that you want to navigate to when clicked. HTML also provides structural tags like division, or div, which are often used to group elements together where they can be styled to represent complex UI elements like navbars. When you're happy with your code, grab the full file path to the HTML file and paste it into any web browser. Congratulations, you just built your first website. This has been Hypertext Markup Language in 100 seconds. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the upcoming sequels. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Alright, so that was the quickest 100 seconds that I've seen HTML so far. Now, HTML, just a quick recap on what we have watched. HTML first created by Tim Berners-Lee, Robert Kyle and others starting in 1989. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, where hypertext means that the document contains links that allow the reader to jump to other places or yung other websites in the document or to another document altogether. Now, again, the latest version of HTML now is HTML5. A markup language is also a way that computers speak to each other to control how text is processed and presented. Now, to do this, HTML uses two things: the tags and the attributes that we are going to talk about later as we progress on the lesson. So before we actually start and code, we have to know the other components of HTML that we need to use enable for us to create an HTML. First are the HTML editors. This is actually a piece of software for creating and editing HTML code. It can be a standalone software dedicated to code writing and editing, or a part of an IDE or integrated development environment. So, what is actually an HTML editor? So, as I have mentioned, which is a piece of software, other things that we can do, or the common features that we can do on a good HTML editor are as follows. So, first, yung ating syntax highlighting. The syntax highlighting, it actually differs HTML tags in various colors based on their categories, making it easier to read and recognize the code structure. So, it's like instead of using plain notepads or text editor dito, nakikita natin yung different colors that signifies different categories para mas madali nating maintindihan kung ano yung sinusulat natin na code. Next, it has auto-completion. Later on, makikita nyo naman as you use an HTML editor. It automatically suggests HTML elements and attributes based on the second week ng web. Sorry, I have to stop the video that I have on the background. So again, the auto-completion where it automatically suggests HTML elements and attributes based on previously added values. So, dito, it will save us time when typing a longer piece of code. Hindi na natin kailangang i-type lahat. The third one is the error detection. So, hindi naman lahat ng HTML editors meron nun, but most of it have error detection, where it scans for syntax errors whenever you type in code incorrectly, so that we can fix that mistake immediately. The fourth one is the search and replace. So, it helps us to find particular code and of course replace them all at once. Then, of course, mag-save to ng time sa atin for editing each string of code. So, the fifth is the FTP integration. FTP is actually short term for File Transfer Protocol. It connects your web server with an FTP client right from the dashboard. So, again, hindi lahat meron itong ganitong klaseng feature. It depends on the HTML editors that you will use. So, later on, ma-discover nyo naman yun on your own. I will introduce you to some of the best free HTML editors na meron tayo in the market. Actually, dahil free siya, nasa market pa rin naman, but you can download it and use it for free. Unlike premium HTML editors. And lastly, a good HTML editor can do code folding. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? It will hide a section of code and it allows the programmer to focus, or the developer to focus on certain parts of the HTML document. So, para hindi sabog yung information na makikita nyo on screen. Now, some HTML editors can also translate the hypertext markup language to a programming language. So, again, yung iba lang yon. For example, cascading style sheets, XML, or JavaScript. Now, that said, or that being said, different types of HTML editors might offer different sets of features and functionality. So, as for now, I would suggest you guys to just use yung mga ilan sa free HTML editors natin. So, according to this website, no, kinuha ko yung data from the hostinger.ph, yung ilan sa mga best free HTML editors na tinry nila. Now, there are actually large number of free HTML editors available online. Some of it are available on desktop, on laptops, even on mobile phones if you don't, have any device yet as of the moment to be used. Pero cellphone meron kayo or smartphone, then that you can use your device. Yung iba hindi mo na kailangang i-download, katulad ng pagkuha sa Apple Store or Google Play Store. Yung iba, pwede ka na namang magdirekta mismo sa HTML editors online. So, ilan lang yun sa mga pwede natin gamitin, no? Now, the recommendation of the 4 best HTML editors that you can download at no cost are as follows according to the hostinger.ph. First one is the Atom. So, Atom is one of the most popular HTML editors in the market, and for good reasons, no? This open source code editor aims to offer premium tools while keeping them completely free. Well, this open source code editor aims to offer premium tools while keeping them completely free. Imagine, no, you can actually create dynamic web pages using these free HTML editors. Now, in addition, it comes with open source packages maintained by the GitHub community. Web developers can add, modify, and share various source code to improve Atom's functionality. They can also customize their interface by choosing the pre-installed themes or creating their own. Now, although Atom doesn't come with a visual editor, it offers a live preview of your web page. Thus, you can spot errors easily and fix the code in the text editor. And in addition to writing HTML code, Atom supports multiple programming languages such as JavaScript, Node.js, and CSS. It's also well integrated with Teletype for easy project collaboration with other developers. If you're thinking of downloading Atom, guys, available naman to for Windows operating system, OS X, and Linux na 64-bit. Next po is yung Notepad++. It's also free, open source HTML editor developed for Windows-based computers. So, this program is actually lightweight and comes with a straightforward user interface. A mobile version of this is actually available for developers to code on the go without installing into the Windows operating system. Now, since Notepad++ is actually distributed as free software, and yung repository nito is actually available on GitHub. It's actually an online community para dun sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam kung ano yung GitHub, no? It's an online community where people exchanges knowledge, question and answer, problem solving when it comes to programming languages, even in web developing. Although this HTML editor is exclusive for Windows platforms, sa Linux, kung meron kayong Linux na operating system, can also use this program via Wine. So, yung Wine po is actually you will add it as a compatibility layer. So, again, it's available for Windows and Linux only via Wine layer. So, yung next po natin is the Sublime Text. So, as of the moment, if I am not mistaken, 3rd version ang latest na Sublime. It is an HTML editor that the recording has stopped. So, again, to continue, the Sublime Text a text editor that resembles Notepad++. It provides cross-platform support and is available in Windows, Mac, and Linux-based systems. However, this text editor falls under the freemium category. So, para siyang combination of both, no? Free siya, but at the same time, the users of Sublime will have to buy a license to enjoy full features. So, hindi kumbaga open lahat for free yung features niya. You have to get the license version for you to enjoy the entire features of it. But it's actually built with web developers in mind. Sublime is packed with more advanced tools. For example, there is a GPU rendering system that helps provide optimal performance across operating systems. Now, the most recent version also supports TypeScript, JSX, and TSX that you will learn more about when you are in the advanced web programming, along with many other programming language. And lastly, we do have the Visual Studio Code. It is also open source, free HTML editor from Microsoft, built on GitHub's Electron. With this framework, users can create projects using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript across multiple operating systems. Now, for Visual Studio Code, it is actually compatible with Windows, Macintosh, Linux, and it also integrates with Microsoft Azure, which makes it easy for code deployment. Now, users can develop projects and applications locally using your computer or your personal device, and then publish them to Azure using a single click. So again, the Visual Studio Code is available for Linux, Windows, and OS X using 64-bit. So these four are actually the best free HTML editors for 2022 according to hostinger.ph. And once again, kung meron kayong ibang gamit na HTML editors, that's fine with me as long it does the job right. Walang problema yon. So you can also like check for mobile phone users, you can check Google Play Store and Apple Play Store to download free HTML editors for your mobile phones. Now, we do have this HTML editors for free. We also have the best premium HTML editors for 2022 according to the same website, no? Tingnan natin kung ano-ano yung meron. Now, even though other HTML editors offers free with great features already, most doesn't have specific features, most especially when it comes to building advanced websites. Now, to create a responsive web design, have access to pre-built templates, and of course, get support from a dedicated team, opting for premium HTML editors might be the way to go. But for you guys, I will not require naman to go for a premium HTML editor. Any free HTML editor will do. In fact, I'm using the same editor that you might be using, no? Now, the following entries are some of the best premium HTML editors that the website tested out. The first one is the Adobe Dreamweaver CC. It's actually an IDE application that supports both back-end and front-end development. In addition, the software provides web design and web development toolkits to make website creation easier. In fact, there are like buttons, forms that you just have to drag and drop, and then nagki-create na siya ng sariling HTML code or corresponding code into the notepad. So Adobe Dreamweaver CC has a robust code editing tool that supports various markup language such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In addition, the software allows users to choose between the text-based and WYSIWYG editor or to combine both. Pag sinabi natin WYSIWYG editor, no, parang yun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina, drag and drop ka lang ng mga elements mo na ilalagay mo sa web page mo, tapos edit ka na lang kung yung ano yung mga functionalities nun. You can do that both on Adobe Dreamweaver. Some of the best feature po ng Dreamweaver Adobe is starter templates, responsive design, Git support, access to Creative Cloud libraries. And this Dreamweaver is available for Windows and OS X based system. Now, if you're thinking about getting Adobe Dreamweaver, in dollars po ito, no, you need to prepare at least $20.99 per month on an annual subscription. So, yun yung pinakamura nilang subscription. Now, the next HTML editor that you can use is Frawala. It is a front-end WYSIWYG HTML editor designed to provide optimized performance for users. With a gzip core of only 50 kilobytes, this lightweight software can load within 40 milliseconds. It's very fast, no? Kung 1 second ka, mabilis na. 40 milliseconds pa kaya. So, the software is also optimized for mobile. So, kung wala kayong device at as of the moment, like laptop or desktop, pero you wanted to code using your mobile phone or tablet, it is actually compatible with Android and iOS devices. Now, si Frawala offers 3 subscription plans ranging from the lowest one, which is $239 per year, to $3,999 per year. Moreover, users can always test the software first before buying a license. So, meron naman siyang trial para ma-feel mo muna kung okay ba yung functionalities and environment of Frawala. So, the Frawala extra features include yung inline editing. Pag sinabi po natin inline editing, you can select any element on your web page and edit it directly. So, for example, gusto mong palitan yung texture ng button mo, yung palitan yung attributes ng text box mo, you can just simply click on it and then edit ka na kaagad. So, yun yung isa sa mga best features niya. Also, it provides an optimized user experience with the latest HTML5 tsaka yung latest CSS3 versions. Now, it also support multi-language. For example, no, the software is translated into 34 languages and automatically detects input from RTL or LTR keyboards. So, kahit anong klase ng keyboards na meron ka. Now, it also comes with a free online HTML editor available for converting text to HTML code or sanity check for your code. So, parang akala mo may sarili siyang Grammarly na mag-check sa'yo kung tama ba yung mga code from a free text editor to Frawala. So, now, ang Frawala po, saan ba ito compatible? Compatible siya sa Windows, Linux, Mac operating systems. And yun nga, yung pinaka-lowest price niya is $239 per year for a basic license. So, medyo mahal na yan when it comes to the to availing it here in the Philippines. Yung third na tinest out nila is yung Coffee Cup. It is another HTML editor with a broad range of features and functionalities.